Morning, people. How are we today? I'll tell you how I am. Bloody knackered. I'm going to stay away from that Discord thing. That's bloody dangerous. We were still there at 3 o'clock this morning, the same the day before, the same the day before. I think we're going to take it easy with Discord. It might well kill me. And to bed at 3:30 and back up at 7:30 to write a programme. Mental. Right, let's get Facebook on board. Then we can get through this. Right, that's Facebook on board. Numbers are climbing nicely. We'll get this started shortly. But this Discord server thing, bloody dangerous. Not with 3:30 this morning shooting the shit. Mental. Anyway, give a couple of minutes to the first Facebook that comes in the door, and we'll get this broadcast underway. Let's have a quick look, see who's in. Hi Julie, hi Margaret, hi Alistair, hi Stephen, hi John, George, Reagan Elite. Enjoyed myself last night in your round table, my friend. A lot of fun. Hi Alistair, Mad Monk, Julie, Ange, hey Doug, C.L. Sutherland, Stevie Nichol, Stuart Laird, and first one in this morning was James Conley. Hi John. See John O'Rourke's third day. Right, we get any Facebookers in yet? We got this thing underway. Yep, that's the first of the Facebookers in. Hi Jane. Hi Melanie. Both personal friends. They're the first two Facebookers in. There you go. Anyway, let's get this underway. Cindy Truck Davey put the truck and at home in his office in Salisbury, North Lancashire, where it is foggy, overcast, but the temperature's warmed up. It's 4 degrees, so and dry at the moment, so that's not too bad. So that's the weather forecast for here in Salisbury, North Lancashire. You want to know what the weather's like where you are? Look at your own bloody windy and maybe drop a wee comment in so I can find out where you are and what the weather's like. Okie dokie. Right, let's have a look and see what pish is in the printed press today, shall we? First up, we have the Looney Rag, the Daily Fail, and I always put the first one up, so here we go. The Daily Fail, what's it got for us today? Andrew advisor banned over fears he's a Chinese spy. Businessman who was Prince's closest confidant and invited to his birthday party is barred from UK on security grounds. Now, it would appear that Andy doesn't really have very much good sense. I mean, his previous best pal was a paedophile, a fixer, who made his money bribing people he was supplying underage girls to. Is it not about time Charlie locked this nonce up in a tower somewhere in some palace and keep him out the bloody road? He's obviously a nuisance. And his Chinese advisor, Andy used to date arms sales around the world on behalf of the UK. And he's got a Chinese spy in tow with him. Fuck's sake. Anyway, what's up next? Let's have a look at the Times, I think. Did I put the Times up? Let's have a look. No, I haven't got the Times for you. So what's the Times got for us? Swinney vows to lead from front and drive to tackle sex abuse. And main headline, Chinese spy with links to Andrew banned from UK. As I say, it's about time they tamed the nonce prince and locked him up in a tower somewhere. Keep him out of bloody trouble. Right, the Telegraph has. I've got that. I've always got the Telegraph. For some reason, the Tory graph headlines always seem to grab me. Anyway, what's the Telegraph got today? It's got Andrew. Well, I'll blow that up a bit. Andrew's link to Chinese spy revealed. Suspect was so close to Prince, he went to his birthday party. MI5 identified threat. March of wind farms as public opposition is swept aside. NATO members told to raise defence budgets. This will be Trump. and SNP urged to allow vote on national park. Well, here in Scotland, they wanted to create a new national park for those out with Scotland in Dumfries and Galloway. Very stunningly beautiful area of Scotland, like most of it is. And the SNP want a new national park in that area. But the locals are not so keen. So they're demanding that there is a referenda on whether this a park should be created. This new national park should be created. So the people are demanding a vote. The council area where the national park is to be sited, they also think the people should have a say. So they're looking to have a referenda on whether this national park should be created. Okay. Right, the Herald, what's it go up for us a day? I don't think I've put the Herald up. But the Herald has software suppliers to doctors goes bust. Now, apparently, the NHS GP practices here in Scotland were getting we're getting a computer and software update, and the company who was doing it went tits up. So I guess they're scrambling about looking for somebody to fill the void. Somebody or a company capable of filling the void. Alright, the right wing only rag the Express has. Oh, I've got this one today. This one's a fucking stomper. And I mean that. Where are we? Oh, Peter having to put it up. I'll just go and grab it. Because this one's a fucking stormer. Right, the Express, wait a minute. Right, let's stick the Express up for yous. Here we go, this is a cracker. Talk about absolute absolute false story. SNP ministers will 15 a day charge for cars. And according to this, Scots could be charged 15 a day just to drive their cars. I can assure you people out there, it's bollocks. This loony right-wing unionist rag is talking mince. There is no plans to charge people here in Scotland £15 a day to use their cars. Wow, mental. And there's no foundation for what that headline is. None. But we get used to that with the Express. You know, it really is out there. It is absolutely mental. But I can assure people watching this, the SNP are not going to be charging anybody 15 quid a day to use their cars. Especially as a lot of Scotland's communities are spread out. And a lot of these rural communities, especially the one I live in, where the bus service is no great, car use is the way to get about. And I can assure you, there is absolutely no way the SNP ministers are mulling over charging people £15 a day to use their cars. Thank you, Alistair. That is very, very generous of you. It really is. Some funds for the baby bank at this Christmas time. Thank you, Alistair. Thank you very much. You know we'll put it in good use on your behalfs. Okay. So where we go after the only right-wing rag, the Express. Right, we've got apparently, according to the Scotsman, and I'll put it up, because this one's a cracker and all. Breakthrough deal to restore teacher numbers at risk. Large local authorities refuse to give assurances despite Gilruth's cash pledge. Now, folks, we've spoken about this story. It's a good few years old now. It was the big councils that refused money to keep teacher numbers up in the first place. And now it would appear they want the money, but they don't want to use it for the purpose it's been given to them for. Well, you know what? The SNP government should just name and fucking shame these local authorities so that the parents in these local authorities can have a look and see who's running that local authority, more likely a Labour Tory coalition, and get fucking pelted into them. These big councils are the reason why teacher numbers dropped. And remember, we had the loony rag, the Mail tell us the other day that it was the SNP's fault, and I had to explain that the SNP don't employ teachers. It's councils that employ teachers. And the SNP have been trying to give the councils money to keep teacher numbers up and classroom sizes down. But these councils have refused. So, as far as I'm concerned, give the money to councils who will bring the teacher numbers back up and employ more teachers, because we do have a surplus of them here. And don't give the larger councils a dime, and let the parents in these local authority areas take it out on these local authorities, because these local authorities are being offered and have been consistently offered 145, 146 million a year extra to keep teacher numbers up. But the big Tory Labour coalition councils, they kiboshed it. They didn't want the number. They want this administration to look bad. But people should realise that actually, if there is a decline in teacher numbers, it's down to the local authorities, and it's nothing to do with central government, because central government is offering these local authorities the money to keep the teacher numbers up. So, go on, Scottish Government, name and shame these large councils, give the money to the other councils that are willing to bring the numbers up, and let the people in these local authority areas get fucking pelted into these local authorities by themselves. We'll see how it swings at the next council election then, won't we? So, that was a Scotsman. Let's move on. The Record, the Rancid, it runs on another dog attack story. Savaged by XL bully, dog at bins. Man attacked while taking trash out. It would appear that these dogs are dangerous. So, maybe there was right to be a ban on breeding them. The Sun runs on. A royal story. Royal worker out of control. Palace Xmas party punch-up. Bar brawl after bash. Cops arrest drunk maid. I didn't know drunk maid was a position in the royal household. I wonder how you go about getting that job, the drunk maid. So if you're an alky woman and you need a job, you just phone the palace up and say, "You're looking for a drunk maid? I'll take that job." So say, I didn't know being a drunk maid was a position in the royal household. You know, I know the guy that ties his shoes is a position. The guy that dresses Charlie, that's a position. You know, but I didn't know they had a drunk maid in amongst their ranks. I wonder if they one in every palace. I wonder if they one in every palace a drunk maid. So apparently there was a brawl at one of the royal households, and the drunk maid was responsible for it. So there you go, folks. We learn something new every day. Apparently the royal household has something called a drunk maid as a position in it. The mind boggles. You know. Right, what's the national vote for us today? Shall we have a wee look? Thank you, Lauren. I'll put that one up in a wee second after we've done the national. The national has fast review promise of act labelled an attack on devolution. So apparently they're going to look into one of these acts as an attack on devolution. And of course, if the one thing you've got to do in a day is turn up and vote the right way. Swinney tears into Sarwar for twice backing the Tories. Well, let's face it, he is the leader of the Red Tories. The Labour Party is now a right of centre party. And Sarwar is the branch office manager of that right of centre party. So the idea that he backed the Tories in 2 votes in the Scottish Parliament, that's no surprise to anybody. And of course, the main headline, Labour are accused of energy bill betrayal. Starmer under fire as cap set to rise again despite pledge people would pay less. Now, one of his promises when he was coming into office was that he would sort out the energy markets and get energy costs under control. But it would appear since he's got into office, the energy companies have nobbled him. I wonder how much that cost the energy companies. Because that lying piece of shit, the actual leader of the Red Tories in Westminster, misled the people to get into office. Promises, pledges, missions, milestones, they all mean fuck all. Nothing. He's a dishonourable lying twat who's in hock to Israel and big corporate interests. He's as near to Labour as, I don't know, name me a right-wing fascist leader. That's as near to Labour as this fucker is. Way at the other side of the political spectrum. Labour are now right of centre on that political map. And this Starmer character, he's a lying piece of shit. He's an establishment placeman. And what makes it even worse is it's not even a two-party state anymore. It's no cheeks to the two cheeks to the one arse. It's just one arse now. Just one arse. And Labour give Israel Army Chief immunity for secret meetings in the UK, SNP have learned. Anybody surprised with that? After all, the front bench in Westminster is totally bought and paid for by the Israeli lobby. And the Israeli lobby group, Labour Friends of Israel. As I say, this Starmer character, he's a liar, he's a placeman, and he's for sale. Just exactly what the state needs to keep the plebs thinking that they were actually voting for change. The eye has. I'll put it up because this one is expected as a headline as we race towards the next Trump administration. Okay, here we go. What's the eye go for us today? NATO warns Europe it must move to wartime mindset as UK faces Trump clash over defence spending. I'll let him blow this up. Gives you the subheadline line say. Head of NATO Mark Rutte tells alliance members to turbocharge defence spending and shift to a wartime mindset as it is not prepared for possible future conflict with Russia. I fucking hope no. Keir Starmer risks a showdown on the issue of the incoming US president unless he hikes spending even further than planned, senior former military chiefs warn. Ex-Navy Chief Admiral Lord West and former Defence Secretary Ben Wallace are among those urging the UK to join a push within NATO to boost spending to 3% of GDP by the end of the decade. Number 10 is instead focusing on getting to 2.5%. Now, what's interesting about that, folks, is the reason why they're talking about having to take it to 3% of GDP now is because we have a shrinking GDP. So 2.5% of GDP now isn't about 2.5% of GDP would be prior to Brexit. As we know, at least 5% has been wiped off for GDP because of Brexit. But this idea that we should all get onto a wartime mindset. There's a fucking war coming, people. And your kids are going to have to fight it unless you fucking stand up to these people. Unless all us as people stand up to these people. And when they call that clarion call to ride over that hill into what they think is glorious battles, yet we all know it's a fucking meat grinder in the killing fields. The answer is just to say no. The answer is just to say no. Just put down the weapons and say, you want to fucking fight? Here, there's your gun. All you world leaders, get yourself into the yard out there and slaughter each other if you fucking want. But we as humanity are no doing it to each other anymore. Oh, your fucking dog whistles. That's what really needs to happen. Right. So there is some real bollocks in the papers today. The Metro and of course the Star, I haven't put the Metro up. They're running on the same story. So I'm going to put the Star up this morning because we were talking about this nonsense last night on the round table. So let's see what the Star's got for us today, shall we? The Daily Star. Tory leader goes to war over the most pressing issue of the day, bread-based comestibles. Kimmy dismisses beloved British lunchtime staple as not real food, but PM Keir Starmer rebukes her and praises the tuna butty. Sarnie shot of a picnic. And I think that sort of says it all, people. That is where we are. The Tories are going so low that the fucking culture wars and everything else is all they've got left. So apparently, Badenoch thought it was a good idea to pick on lunchtime snacks. Absolutely mental. I know that'll be the more a clog dancing raver when I'm no doing a broadcast, the more a Star will be. Boffin say sandwiches are real food. You know, that'll be the Morris headline. But for fuck's sake, how low does it go when they're standing in your parliament arguing about fucking sandwiches and steaks for dinner? But as young Reagan Elite says, there might be an interior motive there. They might be wanting to take away paid breaks and your employment. But more likely it's just nonsense. Because Badenoch is thick as fucking mince. I'm surprised the Tories haven't booted her already. What were we, about 3 or 4 Prime Minister's questions in? And she looks like a fucking idiot. And she's up against a fucking idiot. So the whole clown show has deteriorated even further than what it had. So I'd like to say that we're finishing this week on a funny subject. But actually it's quite depressing when you think that the leaders of the union are spending their time in Parliament arguing about what's better for lunch, a brought-in steak or a carry-in sandwich. You know that any of them ever eat fucking sandwiches or carried-in steak? They all nip down to the multiple of restaurants and cafes that are in the Palace of Westminster and they eat subsidised food. Really good subsidised food paid for by us. You couldn't make it up fucking arguing about sandwiches. The world's on fire. The economy's tits up. Children are fucking starving. Granny's freezing in her hovel. There's a homelessness crisis. The health system is 40 fucking bits. And they're talking about sandwiches and steak. You could not fucking make it up. I'll tell you what. That lot down that road make all of those along there in Holyrood look good. And that includes people like One Brain Cell Bailey and Anna Sarwar. And the Labour Party and the Tory Party up here haven't got a brain cell fucking between them. But that lot in Westminster makes that lot in Holyrood look really, really smart. And that takes some doing. Because there's some right fucking knuckle draggers along in that Parliament in Edinburgh. Never mind fucking knuckle draggers down that road in the Palace of Westminster. What I will say is, we don't have as many people who went through private education along in Holyrood. That might explain why we have a better class of politician. Because it would appear that the private education system needs shut down. Because if that's their idea of producing leaders of the future, Badenoch and Starmer, and before that, the Truss and Bojo, there's definitely a problem with the private education system. It needs to be shut fucking down. Really. Fucking sandwiches. Everything that's going on these islands, and they're fucking talking about sandwiches and steaks. I noticed Bad enough was getting a steak brought in. Couldn't they make it fucking up? Well, that's it for this week, folks. We'll be back on Monday morning to have a look and see what pish is in the printed press on Monday. And we'll keep doing it. Because people really have to know what pish there is in the papers. You know, fucking SNP, you charge £15 to drive your car. You never heard so much shite in all your life. Fuck's sake. And the fucking nonce prince has been traipsing the world selling arms on behalf of the UK with a Chinese fucking spy in his pocket. You couldn't make it up. You really couldn't. You lot look after yourselves. Thanks very much for the super chat today, folks. You are the most generous of people. And it's great the way you look after our fellow citizens. So as I say, we'll be back Monday. There'll be the morning show and then there'll be the afternoon Two Davies. So look after yourselves. And try to stay away from the printed press and the mainstream media. It would take your fucking tits in. And if you are doing what I'm doing, take the headlines and then go for reliable sources that have got nothing to do with these fucking rags. Okay. Look after yourself. Back on Monday to do it all again. Thanks very much for tuning in. Thanks to the mods. Thanks to you guys in the audience for the super chats. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, please, and hit the like button. It all helps the algorithm. And that's more money to food banks. You look after yourself. Bye for now.